MyMac Podcast 930. More on the Apple car. Really?
Hi everyone and welcome to this week's mighty MyMac Podcast. Yes, the on again, off again Apple car is apparently on again, according to rumours, Mac news sites, and oh dear, tech analysts. Can you believe it, Guy? Can you believe it?
You know, we rag on tech analysts a lot. We really do. That and analysts in general.
We rag on, yes, analysts in general.
And for good reason, because for the most part, they're full of crap. And, you know, they do these things not necessarily because it's like hard-hitting news, but because it's a lot of it is just clickbait. And they know that if they throw out some little nugget, whether it has any basis in reality or not, that someone will believe it and someone will pay attention to it. And obviously this week, I was the person that bid on the nugget, Gaz. But I got so much else going on in my life that's just not fun that I figured, you know, I would love to speculate about an Apple car that'll drive itself because I may need one of those pretty soon. And the reason is I still can't see out of my right eye, with doctors blaming everything from COVID to high blood pressure to global warming to eating one too many Hostess snowballs. I have another doctor's appointment. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know what snowballs are. I have another doctor's appointment coming up on Friday, so we'll see what they say then.
Balls made out of snow?
Well, you would think that's what they were, but they're not.
You're not thinking drinks?
No, they're like little. I mean, you know what a ho-ho is or what a Twinkie is.
I think I've heard of a Twinkie. It's like
a
food stubs of some sort.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure they qualify as food, and all things considered, they'll probably outlive and stay fresh every living creature on the planet if we all died.
Okay, cool.
Within a reasonable amount of time.
So just the creepy crawlies will be there to eat them at the end.
They'll be enjoying all the Hostess Twinkies and snowballs.
Loving the Twinkies.
It's shaped like half of a ball with different colored icing on it, depending on which one you get, with a little round thing of white something in the middle of it, like white cream made of stuff. I don't really know.
We've gone tangential, haven't we?
Yeah, we kind of do that a lot. So what have you got going on?
Well, actually, something I've not put in the few reminding notes that we both use on our page. I did some videoing last week.
Nice.
Well, as I'm not actually rugby refereeing anymore, I do go to a few games and try and give a bit of tutorials, and not tutorials, but a bit of advice and, you know, mentoring some of the refs. But I've also said that I'd be prepared to video some of the refs and then obviously get those clips to them so that they can then review their own games and make sure that they're doing all the stuff, you know, correctly. And sometimes we get them to then report back on what they've seen so that we understand that they understand what they're doing is either right or wrong. So I did a bit of that. But boy, Kai, am I getting fed up with people moaning about the settings app compared to the system preferences app as it was. I know that we've gone on and moaned about it a little bit, but unless you're spending an inordinate amount of time in there, I don't get it, Guy. I could never really find stuff in the system preference anyway. I used to go in and just do a search, and that's what I do now. Yes, of course it can be improved, and I'd prefer to hear those who complain to give solutions. Apple aren't about to change back, so give folks some feedback, or give Apple folks some feedback on how to improve. Rant over.
Yeah, or now, shut up.
Or shut up, yeah. Have I got to shut up? Shut up.
No, not you.
I can't find that system. No.
The system preference complaining people.
Anyway,
How
yeah,
dare they?
they don't need to shut up. They just need to just give some feedback, positive to Apple. Anyway, I was listening, or maybe I was watching a YouTube channel, and they were talking about electric self-driving cars and saying that they could see them as a service.
Hmm.
I literally jumped out of whatever compromising position I may or may not have been in and shouted so loud that I was saying that 10 years ago. And no, they weren't even talking about Apple, Guy. So, these people are coming around to, oh, maybe cars can just come to your house and take you to where you want to go. And hello, knock, knock, knock on wood. Come on, folks. Good grief. Guy, recently I've just been putting my Mac into sleep mode. You missed that one, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. Rather than shutting down, as I've now been using my Mac a lot more recently, as it's now just me and Mrs. Gaz at the house. So I can get to my Mac a lot easier. A lot easier. Did I say my Mac enough then?
Yeah, yes, I think so.
Oh, good. Cool.
I getting back to your thing about the cars, and we'll be talking more about this later, obviously, since that's like the main focus of the show today. Or as much as we have a main focus on anything on this show. I don't remember who said it, but what they were saying was they fully anticipated that the kids being born today may not know how to drive when they get older.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
it may not be necessary for them to drive.
Yep.
To which I'm usually saying something along the lines of, well, I got up on that horse and the horse took me where I needed to go. So maybe that's the end result, where you don't have to worry if you go out and get too schnonkered, on New Year's Eve or whatever, because you won't be driving the car. The car will be driving you home, as long as your car's not drinking.
Well, but
we'll
go back to the point that we made before, though, or I made many, many years ago, is maybe it's a service, And by the way, folks, if anybody's saying, "Oh yeah, Adam over the Maccast has been saying that," yes, he said that after me, folks. I'd just like to make that point. He
was a copier.
He copied. Yeah, I think that's because you told him. I think you told him at one of the shows that's what we were thinking. So,
speaking of which.
And I think you said that's what we were thinking rather than what Gaz was thinking, because you like to rain on my parade.
I do. I figured if it's a good enough idea, why not steal it? So that's kind of how I roll. Speaking of rolling, and speaking of the last time I saw Adam Christensen, the tickets are now available, Gaz, for Macstock 2023. And I believe it's July 22nd and 23rd, though you can check me on that if you go on over to Macstock Conference and Expo.com. And this, unfortunately, I don't know, I want to get Mike Potter, to talk about Macstock. With everything that's going on right now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go this time. This may be the first one I'm going to miss.
Word.
And it has nothing to do with money.
I think that if you tell him that, he's going to move the dates.
It's not about the dates. It's
the
problem is when you go to Macstock, you don't go right to Woodstock, Illinois. You go to Chicago, and then whether you fly or if you take the train or horse and buggy, however it is you get to that area, you go. It's through Chicago first. And right now, with my right eye being the way it is, I really don't know if I can trust myself for a long drive, especially in a crowded area like that, from downtown Chicago all the way out to Woodstock. So, I mean, we'll see. I still have some time.
I was going to say, it's a little way off yet. I think you're being a little bit premature, but I see that you're just putting the doubt out there, aren't you? You're just putting the doubt in there. So I don't think you should do that, because so many people are going to say, well, if Guy's not going, I'm not going. I think that's
Yeah,
unfair.
but believe me, I want to go. I haven't missed.
Someone will
all
drive
the
you.
ones that are
Someone
available.
will drive you. Someone will drive you. Don't worry. Anyway, let's move on.
God knows I drove enough people from the airport out to Woodstock in the past.
I'm going to go straight into Gaz's snippets. Did you know, Guy, Unix pioneer Ken Thompson announced that he's switching from Mac to Linux or Linux, however you want to say it. Do you know, hooray. That's all I can say to that.
Go ahead, dude.
Bloody Ray.
Tell me all about that great commercial software you have available over there in Linux. Let me know about all that.
Oh,
and that's not to say that you can't be productive in Linux, but
no,
you're not going to get the well-polished applications that you get in Windows or the Mac OS.
It's not that. No. You've missed the point completely. It's the fact that this guy has announced that he's switching from Mac to Linux. Yeah, okay.
So he's a douche.
So what?
Yeah. I don't care.
I'm switching from left to right.
You know, Gaz, I'm going to stop buying Cheerios and get the store brand instead.
Apple stock splits. Apple stock splits, Guy. Apple stock has split 5 times since the company went public. The stock split on a 4-to-1 basis in August 28, 2020, a 7-for-1 basis on June 9th, 2014, a split of 2-for-1 basis on February 28th, 2005, June 21, 2000, and June 16, 1987. Good grief. Yep. I mean, when will they split again? That's all I can say.
And here's the thing. If you had bought 1 share in 1997, you would have 16,344 shares today. Well, wait, my math may be off, but you'd have a lot more shares than that one.
Yeah,
and it'd be worth a lot more too.
I'm not sure it quite works like that, but I don't know how it works, so I don't care. Okay. People will call in because I'm sure they'd love to. Friday Night Baseball has resumed on Apple TV Plus, or it will be resuming on April 7th. I bet you're so excited about that.
I am. I just love baseball.
Do you know Apple TV Plus has earned 15 BAFTA Television Award nominations, Guy? Did you know that?
You do now.
You do now. Apple TV's Ted Lasso Season 3 premiere scores 870K US households, up 59% over Season 2 premiere.
Still great.
Yeah, it is. I've seen the first 2 now, and yeah. Still enjoying it.
So much fun. I love Roy Kent. I think that guy is fantastic.
He is, isn't he?
He's such an ass. He really is.
He's not though. He's not an ass. He's just
he pretends to
Roy
be
Kent.
An ass. Yeah. And the reporter guy has, like, Trent, whatever his name is, has a much. He's going to have a much bigger role this year.
Don't spoiler. People might.
Well, if you've seen the second episode.
Look, folks. If you'd never thought that aging reporter could actually play football. I'll leave it there. Apple are to splash $1 billion a year on films to break into cinemas, Guy. What? I mean, they want to break into cinemas. I think you should pay money like everyone else and go in, in the normal way rather than trying to break in.
I think Apple.
It wouldn't cost them that much if they paid the ticket. It doesn't cost $1 billion to get into a cinema. It's just ridiculous.
It might if you buy out the entire franchise. So if they went out and bought, what are there's like 2 of them that are in severe financial distress right now, Regal and AMC. And if they bought just one of those, it wouldn't surprise me.
We'll wait and see on that because that's a rumor that we're starting.
We're starting that right here.
Apparently, Epic CEO Tim Sweeney, your favorite person,
has
claimed
Tim Sweeney.
I've got a story about my favorite effing person in a little
while.
while.
Okay, good. As long as we get all the F's in there, that's what counts.
Epic CEO Tim Sweeney has claimed Apple will either try to crush the metaverse or will extract all the profit from it. Boy, is this man bitter.
He
He
is.
bitter, isn't he? Whoa,
You know,
dear man.
he didn't get everything he wanted. He only got 90% of what he wanted, and he's still upset. What a dick. He really is. Tim Sweeney,
Apparently.
McSweeney, you're a McDick. That's what I say you are.
That's your own personal view, of
That
course.
is my personal opinion of Epic CEO Tim effin McSweeney. Dick.
Oh, don't. Yes, yes. Oh, this is funny. This is
And
funny.
then I get sued.
3 days later.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Or if he's really smart.
12 seconds later.
Yeah.
We did say this is a comedy, didn't we? Apple has increased the number of Apple Car test drivers for its autonomous fleet.
Oh, have they? Oh,
Yes.
oh.
Do you
Okay.
It's gone. Do you want to know how many?
Tell me. I really want to know. I just want to know so badly.
Are you expecting like, a doubling, a tripling, quadrupling of drivers?
I'm expecting the total population.
5.
Oh. So it's less than the population of Bangladesh. Okay.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Got it.
Apple TV Plus global market share shrinks and the platform is overtaken by Paramount Plus. Not in this household, it hasn't. Anyway, I'll leave that there. Apparently, don't steal AirPods because they're basically AirTags. This story comes from.
Why not just don't steal?
Well,
don't effing steal. FF.
Well, yeah. Apparently, an airline employee found these AirPods and obviously took them home. Naughty, naughty boy. That's all I can say.
Then the person who actually owned them, did they show up at their house? Or just send them an email? It was something like that, where they like showed up at the house like, "Can I have my AirPods back, please?" and to be fair, the person didn't actually steal them. They were left behind by the person that was on the plane.
No. That if that guy, if
they
took
might be a
them
different
home,
story.
They stole them. Because they were left doesn't mean that they're free for anyone.
Huh, I'm looking at half the stuff in this room now. Look, it fell off the truck. All right.
Steve Jobs.
It's the one bounce rule, Gaz. It's the one bounce rule.
Steve Jobs apparently stepped in to protect an iconic Mac app from the litigious RIAA. So, would you like to know a little bit more about this story?
I would.
Rogue Amoeba's audio hijack, apparently one of the most powerful audio apps on the Mac, allowing you to record any audio from any source. In a recent blog post, Rogue Amoeba CEO and co-founder Paul Kafasis, my best friend,
he's one of my best friends. I don't put an F in front of his name.
Yeah, I do.
I do not.
He's revealed how the Recording Industry Association of America pushed to have the app shut down, but apparently Steve Jobs stepped in to save it. Now, I could go on and read the story more and more and more, but that actually indicates to me maybe why Rogue Amoeba are such big Mac developers and fans as well, because they've always been quite close to Apple in terms of, the sort of apps that they do for them. So,
there's another
perhaps
reason.
a little. Go on.
Yeah, that's because since Apple is the only one that makes Mac hardware, it's much easier to code than to
but they could
Windows.
stretch out. They could stretch out to others, but they are a very well known Mac developer.
They're fantastic. I love Rogue Amoeba. No F's involved at all.
Let's see.
Effing around.
I only effing around with Mr. Paul Kafasis because some of the things that have been said in the past. But I'll leave it there. Some of the things he's done to me personally.
I love you,
personally.
I love you, Paul.
We love Paul Kafasis. Guess what? I bet you can't guess what the best-selling smartphone in China was last year, Guy.
The Huawei Gahuzafats.
Nope,
I bet I was this close.
you weren't. You weren't even that close. No. iPhone 13.
Ah, who would have figured that
Surprised.
would be said here on a Mac show?
Now, I don't know whether this is linked or not, but apparently Apple CEO Tim Cook has praised China's innovation long history with the company during a Beijing visit. Maybe more on that a little later. Maybe more on that.
Wonder what he might have said once he actually got away from the Asian continent on his way home. Oh, thank God that's over. I don't have to kiss their ass anymore.
Well, he might have to for a little while longer until they've, moved some of their manufacturing elsewhere.
Well, I mean, it's not like you're going to go into China as, a tech CEO when that country makes like 90% of your products and go, these people, they're effed up. God, we should just call this the F show.
You see, this is why I can never understand why you do the title before we actually do the show.
I don't know.
Letting the secrets out there. Apparently, Guy, Apple has bolstered its AI technology with an acquisition of Wave One, which is a startup IT company. Well, AI company, probably. Now, have you tried it? Have you gone out and installed it? The Apple musical classical application? Have you tried it?
No.
Have you used it?
No.
I'm
not a huge classical music fan.
I've got it. Mrs. Gaz has got it. In fact, she said to me when we first got it, can it play? I think it was a unfinished symphony by, who was it now? I can't remember who it was by now.
I'm going to wait till
yes, we found it. And and she found it. We started playing it. And then she started doing little bits of background music to it. And I said, what are you doing? She said, I'm doing my bits, because she used to play violin. Yeah. And they used to play this, and she'd do her little bits in the background. It was quite good. Apparently, Tim Cook has met with the Commerce Minister to discuss supply chain regulation and so much more while he's been in China. Not a surprise, really, is it? Apple has released macOS Ventura 13.3. Guess what? It's got some new emojis in there, Guy. Apple has released watchOS 9.4. Bet there's some new emojis in there as well. Apple has released tvOS 16.4 with a new dim flashing lights feature. Have you seen this? Apparently, if you, I think it works on your phone as well. If you play a video which has got flashing lights on it, if you put this on, it will suppress or make it really dark the image on the screen with the flashing lights. Obviously, some people, some people don't like the flashing lights. Probably if you've got sensitive eyes, or
or like people who are epileptic or something along those lines, that can set them off.
Yes. So there you go. That's good. Apparently, Tim Cook also said that Apple's symbiotic relationship with China has been one of the things that has kept the company going. I'm not sure whether he said that.
It certainly made them more profitable.
Yeah, it's funny. He's getting ever so friendly with them. Is he waiting to tell them some bad news? Do you think?
Yeah. Hey, remember all that stuff we used to make in your country? Well, we're going to make it someplace else now.
Apparently, Apple's mixed reality headsets has sparked some rebellion inside the company.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, well, let's just see. Oh, dear. No, I don't want to do that. Apparently, the headset, which is due to be unveiled to the public in June, according to a number of reports, he says in air quotes, Apple is hoping that it will be add another product line to the iPhone and the Mac. But the project has already sparked some rebellion from inside the company. We've got a rebellion. It's like Star Wars all over again.
I just can't see Tim Cook as Emperor Palpatine. It doesn't work.
Oh, it does. Yeah, think about it. It works. Various staff within
Darth
Apple.
Vader? Oh, Craig Federighi. He would be Darth Vader.
He could be anyone.
He could, actually.
Various staff within Apple have argued that the headset is not ready and that launching this version of the product that can ship now is too risky. Anyway,
You know
too
what this
risky.
is? This is tech analysts covering their ass in case Apple says June comes along and Apple says, no, we don't have a headset. They say, see, the rebellion worked. And now it's not going to come out until next year in June. You heard it here first, folks.
Apple
Jesus.
Pay Later is launching. Well, I think it's already launched. It's launched earlier this week. It's a buy now, pay later financing with 0% interest. This is not new. Certainly over here, there are a lot of like Klarna, and I think there's a few others where you can basically, I think PayPal do it as well. You pay for something and then you have to pay it back within a certain short period, not an everlasting
to avoid
thing.
an interest rate.
Yeah, and I think this one is about 6 weeks they're doing it. So apparently that's coming to a few places in the US to start off with. Interesting, maybe. I don't know. It's just more signs of Apple.
Not exactly groundbreaking.
No, but it's more signs of Apple wanting to get into the money game and becoming a bank, which they pretty much already are. I mean, they're their own country, to be honest with you. HomePod and HomePod Mini, Guy, are officially coming to which country next week, do you think? Come on.
Kansas.
Is that a country?
No.
Singapore, Guy.
Oh,
Singapore.
My next guess was going to be Belize.
Oh, well, that wouldn't have been as far.
Yeah,
Apple apparently...
I Belize in the HomePod. Yeah, sorry.
That's worse than my dad jokes, definitely. Apple have been sued.
I actually did that right.
Will you let me finish?
Yes.
We might come on to that later, actually. Apple have been sued for allegedly firing and threatening union organizers, Guy. Yeah.
Proof? Is there actual proof? I mean, just because.
Well, if they're being sued, there's got to be some. If they're being sued, there's got to be some sort of, not proof, but I'll tell you what, I'm looking. I know this doesn't interest most people who listen to this on the podcast, but I'm looking rather dark, so I'm just going to put some light on the situation, just so that Guy can see me a little bit more, because it's starting to get dark. That's a bit better. Okay, so anyway, I'll move on to the next story. Apple Gangnam Store has opened or is opening. No, I think it's opened. And it might be opening this Friday. I'm not sure. So if anybody listening to this after Friday, is it the 1st?
Yes.
What day is it?
No, Friday is the 31st.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Because we're going to a show down in London on the 1st. Anyway, it's opening this week. And it's got a unique frontal or facade that changes its appearance, Guy. According to the different day or across the seasons, the front of the store will change. Whether it's just color or whether it's pictures, images, I don't know. But yes, that's cool, isn't it?
Cool. Yeah, it is kind of cool. Well, it's like there's some building fronts in Japan where they do like these 3D animated movies where you'll see a cat suddenly, come out from a little tunnel and step down onto the street and all the rest of that. It's really kind of cool what they can do with it. I'm sorry. That's all I got. That's all I got. It's a cat. Now, so,
I'm gonna finish on a little high. Well, I think it's a high for you. Apple has announced that WWDC 2023, the event will be taking place June 5th through to June 9th.
Huh.
Ta-da! And
so it's the first or second week in June, which it is every year.
Yeah, but they've announced it.
Oh, okay. Good. Whew. Bated breath. That's where I was.
That's it. I've done the music now. It's all over.
Okay.
Finished.
Did I talk about my review, Audio Box Go review last week or last time we got together?
I don't think you talked about the audio box one? I can't remember now
Okay.
because it was either that or there was something else that you'd got on there that we were talking. I don't remember talking about the audio box one. Mention it
Okay.
anyway.
Well, real
Just
quick,
it's
there's
so
a
good, Guy. It's so good.
of course.
Mention it again.
Yeah, and it was not written with Chat GBT at all, ever. It's basically just a review of this little tiny interface that Personas has just come out with, and you'll find my take on it over there at mymac.com. It's right over there, so go check that out. And I'm currently working on another one for an Arturia audio interface that is proving to be very interesting, though somewhat a little disappointing in one respect, but you'll see that in the review when I finish it.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's it.
You got no more?
Yeah, I want to talk about these bells. That's what I want to do.
You talk about the bells.
I'm not gonna.
Ding, ding, ding,
I'm
ding, 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 ding,
not
ding.
gonna play the bells. Not gonna play the bells.
No.
We have. You mentioned several times in Gaz's snippets about Apple Car stuff. And so we're going to kind of continue on that theme a little bit with more Apple Card nonsense. And this is pretty much all we know, and it's all based on speculation. There is like nothing really set in stone that anyone can point to and say, yeah, that's the Apple Car, because it's just not there. So from no actual provable evidence whatsoever, speculation has run rampant about the Apple Car project since 2014, and maybe even a little bit earlier. Called by those pushing the narrative Project Titan, it has been envisioned as an electric vehicle with more or less a conventional design with either some self-driving capability or fully autonomous with no steering wheels or control pedals. So that's a big spectrum right there that you can go in. With that as our self-driving guide, let's talk about what is known about the Apple Car, which is likely going to be a pretty short conversation since nothing other than Tim Cook talking about Apple working on autonomous capabilities in 2017, and even then somewhat vaguely. There's been reports of cars leased by Apple from Hertz, sporting all kinds of sensors that have ramped up speculation, still with no official word at all from Apple. Common theme. Up to 60 of these have been reported to be skulking, Gaz, with less than stellar
Those damn
proof.
skulkers.
Those skulking electronic cars. There's even been reports of new chip designs that's going to go into the car itself. Now,
I like chips.
Me too. As long as there's like good crispy fish that goes along with it. The car itself is said to be limited to highways for self-driving, with ample warning for manual mode for city driving, presumably from input from Apple Maps for the final destination. Battery packs to be recharged with the same charger currently being used for most electric cars today, but with a radically new battery pack that will reduce the cost and increase the range, said somewhat ironically and sarcastically at the same time. For judging space, the car will use LiDAR and is supposed to be in the talks with the likes of Hyundai, as well as others, to produce the car in the US. And there is so much of this that just screams BS and rampant rumor mongering that I'm I'm almost not sure where to start. But let's start right at the very end. Why would Hyundai or Audi or GM or Ford or any other car manufacturing company make a car for Apple when, if they could use a similar design, make it for themselves, presumably for less money? Because
Are you not
they
seeing
have
the industry at the moment?
actually the industry at the moment is doing reasonably well. at least here
No,
in the
yeah,
States.
yeah. But if if you look at some of the cars now, they are pretty much the same model with a slightly different body.
Yeah,
And they are supposedly from different manufacturers. We've even got Subaru selling a car, an electric car, which is made basically by Toyota.
really, I wasn't aware of that.
So the answer to your question is, one is because they can, and two, because it probably will mean they make more money.
Maybe. I'm not convinced.
Well, they don't need to convince you.
Well, and when you look into the past, but the big in the past, the big thing was when Ford owned a big stake in Mazda. Mazda was selling essentially Ford Ranger trucks under their own brand. And you saw a lot of that in the 70s, 80s, and 90s as there was some consolidation in automobile manufacturing. As some manufacturers just went away or were having such financial problems that they had to be bought out by someone else. Chrysler Corporation several times. Excuse me. Oh, I got caught in my throat a little bit there. Fiat and Mercedes and so many other companies. Or even Land Rover. Wasn't Land Rover bought by Tata? Or is it no Jaguar? Jaguar.
Yeah, because they're now
Yeah.
back under the JLR group now, so it's
Yeah.
now probably owned by a Chinese conglomerate.
What? So, there's been a lot of consolidation, and up until relatively recently, not a whole lot of cooperation between, even when you were talking about electric cars, there wasn't a whole lot of cooperation between the different companies until relatively recently, when most of them are kind of switching over, at least for charging purposes, to a common port, which you would have thought they would have done from the very beginning if they were actually interested in switching over to mostly manufacturing electric cars. Because who wants to have an electric car that you wait your turn in line to get it charged up, and it's like, oh crap, I don't have, my car can't be charged by this particular charger. And that's more or less going away. And when it comes to electric cars, I was convinced for a long time that it wasn't going to work because the companies weren't interested in cooperating with one another. And I've been proven wrong. They're all coming out with electric cars. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see if they're going to be able to make enough batteries, not just for the new cars coming onto the road, but for the older ones that need to have them changed in 5 to 7 years, because they all lose capacity over time.
Yeah. But what I don't think that's going to be a problem, because I've got a feeling that battery technology is changing so much, and now we're getting to a point where recycling those old batteries and pulling the materials from those out, it's not only getting better, it's becoming a more profitable business. It's actually becoming a business which is worth doing. Whereas before, it was really a concept, because there were so few secondhand battery cars coming to the point where they needed, replacing and destroying, and those batteries then need pulling out. Whereas now, secondhand electric cars are, not exactly 10 a penny, but they're becoming more of a normal commodity in the marketplace. And equally, you're getting older cars, mainly Nissan Leafs, because they were the ones that came out early enough. And there's becoming quite a lot of those sorts of batteries which are now becoming available. And I think there's a bit of a stockpile of batteries which manufacturers are holding on to. I know for certain, because I've got a family member who works for one of the large organizations. I'm not going to say who. And he's seen them, and he's talked to some of the engineers, and they said, yeah, we're just stockpiling them, because there's no point doing any work on 3 or 4 batteries. You've got to have a mass, and then you've got to have a continuation. There's no point starting the factory and then having to stop it halfway through. So I think we're getting to that point now, Guy. And the more that, so I don't think there'll be a problem, because there'll be new technology in batteries. There'll be battery changing. They'll be changing the batteries for some of these cars with different types of battery, although they'll make sure they still fit in the place of the old ones, I think. So yeah, it's moving on. I think fossil fuel is slowly becoming dead, and still going to take quite a number of years, though. I think you and I it may still be about, well, we're still here, but I think well, when we're dead and buried and gone, we will not become a fossil fuel in the future.
Well, I'm living forever, so there's that.
Well, that's good. You'll see it then.
I will.
You'll see the Apple car that comes and picks you up. Hi, Guy.
Runs off. Yeah, runs off hydrogen. Yeah, what are you doing with me? Yeah, take me to that place I sometimes go. What?
Hydrogen? I don't think hydrogen in small vehicles is going to work, to be honest with you. I think in large capacity on sites out in the desert, it may work, but it's.
But the problem with hydrogen, beyond the Hindenburg effect, is that it's still very expensive to make. But on the plus side, because it's like the most common element in the entire universe, you're not going to run out of it anytime soon, where these batteries that are being made is still using raw materials that have to be dug out of the ground.
Yeah.
And that's, that just like with gasoline, and actually less so, it's not sustainable. Eventually, you've got to come up with something that is easily renewable, cheaply enough that it, and doesn't destroy an entire portion of the planet just to get to where the lithium is. And that's basically, for now, as far as unless they come out with Mr. Fusion like they had in Back to the Future.
Well, that's I think that's about 25 to 30 years away.
What, cold fusion? Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. And that would solve some. We're like so far off the topic at this point that I don't even know what the hell we're talking about anymore.
An Apple car with cold fusion. Yes, mate.
It'll be Mr. Car. That's what they'll call it. The Mr.
iCar.
The iCar. And you can wear your eyeglasses. Oh, yeah. See what I did there?
Yes.
And not even on purpose. Not even on purpose.
Brave.
So, but to get back to the Apple car, nobody really knows what Apple has going on in their skunk works. And you're of the opinion that it's a service. I'm kind of the opinion that, like with CarPlay, that this will be licensed out to different manufacturers. Whatever it is that Apple learns about autonomous driving, I think they will offer that up for a cost to other manufacturers rather than make a car themselves. It doesn't make any sense to me for Apple to make a car.
Cool.
Yeah. So what else you got? Is that it?
That is it, Guy.
Yeah, there's so much head nodding.
Hit it. Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
It's time for
Gaz's tip.
iOS messages, Guy. iOS messages. Now, basically, you can seamlessly pair your Apple devices with other Apple devices, Guy.
Right.
Yeah. So if you want to be able to answer a call or reply to a text message from your laptop or your watch or your iPad,
phone,
presumably,
how crazy would that be?
But if you want to answer it on one of the other devices, or reversely, if you're finding that you now have turned it on somehow and you want to turn it off, this is what you do. You go to settings on your iOS device, and you go down to phone or messages. Could be phone or message. I think it's messages actually. And then there is an option there to allow calls on other devices. It may also be called text forwarding, text message forwarding. Go in there, and it may actually then come up with a toggle of which device you'd like to receive them or not on. So that if you've got it and you're thinking, how do I turn that off? That's how you do it. If you think, oh, that could be useful, settings, iPhone or messages, I think it's messages, allow calls or text message forwarding, and then do your toggling. Now, another iOS messages
2 for 1
tip. Yeah, 2 for 1. Audio messages that get sent through can, I think by default, go away after 2 minutes. But you can prevent that. Or if you want that to happen, here's how to turn it on. Again, you've got the option to do one or the other. So you go into settings, you go on messages, and you scroll down, and there is a bit which is audio messages, I think it's called. And then it's audio messages to expire, or tap to expire. It's under the audio section, so you might have to scroll down in the messages section, and then you can either tap never or you tap for 2 minutes, whichever one you'd prefer. There you go.
Nice.
That's if you're losing audio messages on your iPhone, or you've got too many audio messages and you want them to go away after 2 minutes.
Go away.
Go away.
Yeah. Head nod.
Hit it. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
Is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish?
Gaz, you are absolutely right.
Okay, we have so many messages. We have so many audio messages today. We have one from our favorite Mac Jim. That was a terrible, terrible Scottish accent. And I swear, Jim, that I won't try that again until the next time. That is my sincere promise to you here and now. But we also have
to play it.
Yes, we also have 3 from Marcus, but we're gonna do Mac Jim first.
Okay.
Guy and guys on the My Mac podcast show, the good-natured show.
Will you let me finish?
Could hear you laughing in the background there as well as I was screaming at you. Thanks, Mac.
Well, because it does make me laugh because I don't do it on purpose. None of it is intentional. It's just sometimes thoughts come into my head. They have to come out one way or another.
Yeah.
And I step on everybody until that thought is out of my head.
And you're big enough to step on everyone as well.
Well, I don't want to, but sometimes I don't have any choice. Anyway, we have 3 messages from Marcus in regards to audio quality in various devices. And here it is.
Submission number 1 from Marcus in Minnesota. I have some new audio tests to do. I've recorded on my Apple Watch Ultra, my iPhone, and I think a different Apple Watch, and submitted those. This time it's with the AirPods Pro and Max. This recording is from the iPods Pro, and I will stop this and submit submission number 2 with the iPods Pro Gen 2, which I found to have much better noise cancellation.
Well, I'm glad he told us he was stopping before he was going on to the next one, which I'm going to right now.
This is submission number 2 from my
AirPods
different. Pro Gen 2, which I got over the weekend at Best Buy for like $200. So
it's important.
I found the noise cancellation to be better than the first gen AirPods Pro, and I just want to see what the audio sounds like. Same situation. I'm in my computer room working from home, and I will stop this and then connect to the AirPods Pro Max next.
Okay, now these are the headphone like ones.
Yeah.
AirPod Pro Max.
Okay, this is submission number 3 from my AirPods Pro Max. Now, of course, it's a different form factor than the in-ear buds, the microphone or microphones. I'm not sure where they're located, but this is just a test in the same environment as the AirPods Pro and the AirPods Pro Gen 2. Same sitting situation, just swapped out the mechanisms in use. And if you want to play it on the show, great. And this has been Marcus in Minnesota, ending up on the MyMac podcast.
Thank you, Marcus. We really do
I've gotta
appreciate
say,
it.
We do, and I've got.
Well,
a
which
feeling
one
that
did you like
Marcus-
better?
I think it was the first one I liked better.
I actually liked the AirPod Pros too. The second one a little bit better.
Yeah, I almost said those, but I think the first one. Anyway, what I think Marcus has become is our new mic tester. He's taken over from you,
Hey.
Guy.
Hey,
Hey,
hey, hey,
hey, hey.
Don't take it away from me, Marcus. Don't take it away from me.
Please, Marcus, please take it away from him. Please, Marcus.
I don't have that much. I don't ask for that much, but microphone testing, that's what I do. Speaking of which, I'm on my my Lewitt LCT 440 Pure today. It is so fun and
Just
well,
move
yes.
on.
Okay, moving on. We have a timeout list of helpful Ukrainian donation sites, which you'll find in our show notes, as well as links to the Ukrainian Red Cross and Doctors Without Borders. All fine
Ruskies
organizations.
still doing it.
They are still doing it.
Well, it's
I
not those
read
Ruskies,
somewhere
it's
today they
one
lost a
particular-
bomber today.
There's one particular Rusky, isn't he? Who's being the
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll move on.
I won't be shedding many tears when he leaves the mortal coil.
No.
We don't have any
No.
picks, so I don't know why I mentioned it. If you would like to be like Marcus and Mac Jim, you can send us feedback. And if it's the first time you've done it, you will get something that it will change your life.
It will. It's changed my life.
Yeah. I mean, look what Gaz has had to go through for the last 14, 15 years. All because he said, when Tim asked him if he wanted to be on the podcast, he said, okay. Wow, boy. If ever
Not
a
knowing-
time machine was needed,
Yeah.
it's right here.
Not knowing that Tim wouldn't be there ever again.
Yeah. Well, every once in a
right.
while,
Here you go. You can be on the podcast. Yeah, that's great. Oh, yeah, lovely. Great. Yeah. I'm leaving you with Guy.
Come back, Tim. Come back. But if you do,
He's driving us crazy.
he is. If you do a review or an audio comment or something like that, you will get a Woo T. And for people who don't know what a Woo T is, it's a big W, big O, big T, little I, little E, exclamation mark. That's what a Woo T is. Marcus knows what a Woo T is.
He does.
Yes, he does. And Mac Jim, I think I sent him one.
Well, Mac.
Well,
Jim,
he listens to the show. Jim, if I haven't sent you a Woody, number one, shame on me. But number two, let me know and I will send you one. Yeah, I think that's that we got. If you'd like to support this train wreck of a show, you can go to patreon.com/Macparrot, or you can go to ko-fi.com/Macparrot, or you can pay a pal at paypal.me/Macparrot, just like Christoph when he has made his various very generous PayPal payments in the past. Thank you, Christoph. Gaz, if people wanted to get a hold of you and saying, why can't Guy pronounce his last name, how would they do so?
Ever so easy. Send an email to gazjz@mymac.com or on the Twitters, twitter.com/Gazmaz. I'm also Gazmaz, although there's substitute on the naming convention for Mastodon and the other one. What's the other one?
Counter Social?
Counter Social,
Yeah.
You can also get in contact with both Guy and myself on the Twitters, twitter.com/Guy and Gaz, GYANDGAZ.
Yeah. Cars.
You can also send an email to feedback@mymac.com. That's FWDBACK
Okay.
at
MyMac.com.
mymac.com.
Any guy.
Have a good one, guy.
Just
Yeah.
who is this guy? My guy? Who is this guy?
So, guy. Who is this guy? So, guy. Have a good one, guy. By being the good guy. So, guy. I'm a good guy. So, guy.
Your guy. You're guy. It's you. Yeah. I love you.
So, guy. Good guy.
You're also a really cute guy.
Yeah.
So,
that's
Guy.
me.
His name was Guy.
Oh,
Guy.
Guy?
Guy's the one. You remember Guy?
He's the guy. Pay no attention to that guy behind the curtain.
Guy says.
We know it was a guy.
Guy was paid his 75 grand. So.
I like to go with Guy.
No fooling.
If you want.
oh.
If you want.
An email from Guy.
How would they do it, young man? How would they do it?
Well, as I come back to the microphone, all they would have to do is send that email to Guy at mymac.com or podcast at vertshark.com. Vertshark.com is the website that you can go and look at stuff I did like 3-4 months ago because I haven't updated it in a really, really long time. I am Macparrot and Vertshark over there on the Twitters. I am also Macparrot on Counter Social and Mastodon. I was wondering what was happening.
Well, there's a slight delay in the audio, I'm afraid. So
yeah, and nothing we can do about it. As long as we keep using certain platforms. Yeah. Moving on. We have a Skype telephone number, Gaz. Did you know that?
I did.
Been talking about it for a really long time.
That's why I know about it.
Is 1 or +1 outside of the United States. Area code 703-436-9501. That number again is 1 or +1 outside the United States. 703-436-9501. Or if dialing a 1 or a +1 just gives you the hives, and I get it, I really get it, then go right to your Skype application and just dial 703-436-9501. Or we have our Google Voice number, which has been used once since I went to the trouble of making it. Yeah, that Google Voice number that you can call, please call the Google Voice number is, itchy nose, 703-828-4677. That number again is 703-828-4677. And I would like to say thank you. Thank you to everyone, and especially Christoph, Marcus, and Mac Jim this week for downloading and listening. Come on to the MyMac.com podcast. Tell all your friends. Say it's the greatest thing since someone else did a podcast. And you will get thanks back from those people eventually as they get more and more into it. But Gaz, I think that we're good enough. And my God, with all this discussion on electric cars today, I think we're smart enough. Yeah. And that doggone it, woof, wilf, woof, woof, woof. See if I can keep saying that however many times. Wilf, woof, 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 wilf. People like us.
Do you know, Guy?
What?
Years ago, I had a neck brace fitted.
Really?
I've never looked back since. End.
It
you can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on. Go on home and go home.